I'm Snow, and this is Gas and Go. Welcome to Gas and Go with Snow. I'm here with my main man, Eddy B.
Hey.
Man.
It's good to be back.
I know, right?
On your first episode.
My very first episode.
We will talk about that.
You know what? Actually, we do want to talk about that. If you guys get a chance, go back and look at our very first interaction. It was just night and day from where we are today.
Absolutely.
So this is literally one of my best friends, brother in arms,
Likewise,
right?
my friend.
And we've done so much stuff together over the past few years. But if you look at that first interaction, I didn't even know how you say your last name. Remember that?
I still can't do it.
Borysewicz. Unless it's my truck and it says Borysewicz. But we are here today to talk about a special project that, you know, Eddy B and I have worked on this thing. Where'd you buy this car?
So I bought this car in Escondido from a nice little lady. Her ex-husband passed away. He had a couple of these things left over. I was looking for basically a stripped down car. I had a couple fastbacks that I was really eyeballing. Yeah. But all of us know those are really hard to find. They're usually Swiss cheese and a lot of work.
Yeah.
This is a running car. I bought it for $7,000, drove it home and had a 302 in it.
Yeah.
It originally came with a 289.
289. Yeah. Now, what was your original plan for this car?
So the original plan for this car is what you're looking at right now.
Okay.
This is basically what I had in my head. Color scheme was a little bit different, but we want to do one of our ReVolt power plants inside of it, and this car is fully electric.
All right. Well, now, that takes us to a whole different ball of wax. Fully electric. So when Eddy B and I met, the day we met, I was asking him the exact same questions about this car, and he said, yeah, I'm going to make it electric. Why would you do that?
Because I can.
And I said, we're going to get along. And 4 years later,
here we are.
Here we are. So let's talk about that whole electric thing. Let's move on over here and let's check out under the hood.
Not your typical 289.
Check that out.
So what we have here is, this is our ReVolt crate motor. It produces a touch over 600 horsepower. We're also boasting about 1,500 pound-feet of torque off the yoke.
Okay.
The shaft is about 500 pound-feet of torque, but that's instantaneous. So what we could do with electric motors is we could hold that torque instantly all the way up until what we call the end of our voltage knee.
Okay.
So where a gas or an IC engine needs to have its, you know, it has a power band. So it builds up power as it gets to its RPM. And that's where the torque and the horsepower kind of overlap. That's your final peak.
Well, so let's look under here. Now, while those are some impressive numbers, I see very little under the hood. So to somebody who doesn't know about the EVs, let's walk them through here. All right, so clearly this is, you know, your brake reservoir. What is it attached to?
It's called an iBooster. It's made by Bosch. So it's a fully electric, basically master cylinder. And you're going to see these on pretty much all cars these days. Yeah. New OEMs have gone through, instead of using vacuums, they use electronics. Mostly now because of safety, because they all the safety features, and you know, it could brake by itself, all that stuff. That's built in. That's actually all fully CAN bus and everything else. So if I want to control brake pressure, we could do that as well. Okay. Now, all right.
So now I'm looking at nothing. I'm looking at the absence of, where's your power steering? My truck has a power steering pump right here, you know, steering box. I don't see that.
So this car, we have electric power column. So the actual power steering is an electric assist. So underneath the dash, it's connected to the steering column on the back side of the firewall where you drive. So you can't see it. It's nicely tucked away. Okay. And it works just as well as any other power steering system does, minus all the stuff.
One of the other things that I'm noticing, you said you made this car electric. So to me, that sounds like, oh man, batteries and wires and all this stuff. But I only see one set of cables coming off here. Now I know that there's a 4-pin connector on that side, but this is all the wires I see coming out of this big old electric motor.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
People are usually under the misconception that these things are super, super complicated. No, I mean, on like a typical LS, you got crank sensors, you have...
Oh yeah, there's spark plug wires, a ton of stuff.
O2 sensors.
I only see 2 wires.
That's it. So we have our main in, the orange cables are high voltage. So that's basically positive and negative, and you guys have RC cars, you'll know that that's positive and negative. And then this is our communications cable. So as our CAN bus, so all the sensors inside, let our computers know what's going on. Our throttle cable goes through there and everything else.
All right, so you say you got 2 cables here, this DC positive, negative, but I see 3 coming out. So explain to me what the, why is there 2 in, 3 out?
So our batteries are DC. Our motor is 3-phase AC induction. So what happens is we have an inverter, so it inverts the power from DC into AC.
Okay.
And that AC power is what powers the motor in the rear.
All right. Well, it's pretty clean under the hood. Now, an electric car has to have batteries. So where are the batteries?
Well, when we designed this car, I wanted it to handle well. A lot of the guys that build aftermarket EVs, they put their batteries in 2 spots where they have room, in the trunk or under the hood.
Okay.
I didn't want to do that. I wanted to put them everywhere so I have a perfect 50-50 weight distribution, and we want to keep the weight mostly inside of the axles. Once you start going
Keep
out
the tail from wagging the dog.
Correct. If you got too much weight in the back, when you get out of corners, it's going to start to wag on you.
Yeah.
This car handles like a pancake on wheels. We have a 50-50 weight distribution. Most of the batteries sit between the axles. We have 4 underneath the seats. We have 2 behind the seats, 4 over the rear axles, and 3 in the trunk.
All right, so now we got a powertrain and we got, you know, the power supply. So tell me about the control mechanisms here. So, all right, I'm gonna jump in here and let's see what we got in here. All right, so we talked about the steering column and I can see the pump, the electric assist right here.
Yep.
Okay. Now, what do we have going on this dash? I see a bunch of little batteries up there. What was that?
Yep, so basically the way my dash is designed is it gives us telemetry of what's going on in the vehicle. I have my overall pack voltage in here. Gives me an idea of how much voltage I have. I could also see my pack sag, so when I'm on full throttle, but you can see how much the batteries are actually sagging. So when we test different types of batteries, we kind of do a comparison. I got my 12 volt bus, so I know my 12 volts sitting out, and I have my basic telemetry from my pack info. Max voltages, deltas, where my BMS is sitting. So at a glance, I know what my charge state is. I also have, you know, RPM. I have my speed, so I don't get tickets. Okay. So my basic information's here. As I scroll through this, I could get a lot more information. My max and min for my resistance on my pack. So if there's something going on, I'll be alerted very quickly. If there's something wrong with my temperature, this is kind of more of a breakdown. I actually could scroll through and see every single one of my cells too and see what they're sitting at. Okay. If there's a misbalance or something's wrong, it will alert me and let me know about all that.
Okay, I noticed you got this big iPad display here, a nice, you know, setup, but what does the iPad do for you?
Basically everything about the motor and control systems. I could detune this car, I could give it more power, less power, I can see what's going on. It also logs everything for me, so if there's a problem in the vehicle, I could catch that. Also, if I want to surf the web or read my text messages.
I noticed you got your high voltage, and I see temperatures, speedo, RPM.
Everything you need.
And then this is where you dial in your max voltage or max power and
fan
reduce
speeds,
it.
Everything else. So I have full control of the vehicle there from my iPad. Plus I can read the news, watch TV, all the other fun stuff.
All the modern conveniences.
Of a 65 Mustang.
Of a 65 Mustang. All right, well, one thing I want to point out, and this is something I've never seen done before, right? The rally stripes come through the windshield right onto the dash, and that is something I've never seen before. It just changes the total look of the car. Who came up with that idea?
So that was Hot Dog, our painter Pete, over at Hot Dog Customs. He's one of the best painters I've ever seen in my life. So we pulled out the dash and realized there's metal in it.
It's metal, yeah.
So we pulled out the grill, covered that up, took the speaker hole out, and he made this beautiful long dash, stretched the hood all the way into the car. As he said, it's something that I've never seen before. Yeah. Cool little touch. The chassis and tube work on this thing's insane.
Yeah, it's like you got like 1,000-point roll cage in here.
AVS Fabrication built that for us. We're also on the Roadster Shop chassis. So this car not only looks well, but it handles just extremely well too. I call it the pancake on wheels.
Yeah. Now, I have seen this thing, and I'm sure some of you guys have seen it when we were building it, seen this on a lift, and this car is as clean underneath as it is on top. And that's saying a lot for something that gets driven as much as this does.
So it's my daily.
Yeah. Well, let's do a walk around one more time around the car, and then I think we're gonna wrap this up. All right, so tell me a little bit about what's going on under the back of this car. And we talked about it sitting on a Roadster Shop chassis, but those shocks look pretty slick. What is that?
So those are the new Mod Series shocks from QA1. Amazing. Such a big window of adjustability for your high speed, low speed, compression, and rebound. We're testing them out right now before we hit the track. Already these shocks have blown away the old ones that I had on here. Yeah. So big shout out to QA1 for those. Thank you guys so much for your help on that. Just amazing stuff. And also the wheels. We got HREs on here. I get so many compliments on these wheels. To me, not just because they helped us out, but I think they're one of the nicest wheels on the planet. I walked in there to actually buy those wheels. They saw the car and ended up helping us out with the whole entire
sponsorship. Yeah, nice. I like it. All right. So I would be remiss if I didn't point this out. So this is your gas cap, right?
Pull it.
So why would you need one for an electric car?
Well, you got to charge somehow, right?
There it is.
And then what we did is, so that is an NACS, North American Charge Standard. Same thing Tesla uses on all their chargers. I designed this gas cap with an inlay of neodymium magnets. So there's no twisting, there's no nothing. It actually, it just slides right in and magnets hold it together.
Yeah.
The kids love this. They're like, hey, check it out. It goes click.
And it's in.
And it's in. It doesn't come out either. You got to give it like a lot of force to pull that thing out.
All right. Well, hey, all right, man. Dude, let's go for a ride, brother. All right. Hey, we'll see you guys next time on Gas and Go with Snow. Hood pins.
Charge and go with Snow.
I might have to change the whole thing. All right.
You could talk about this car for hours.
Let's see what she got, stunt man.